What is up, everyone? Welcome to the NoLife Gaming and Tech podcast. How is everyone doing this evening? We have a dual feature show for you. We're going to be putting the gaming and the tech portion of the show together into one show. There's really not that much tech news, so we're just going to kind of combine both shows to give you one nice long show. So what's up, dudes? How was your Thanksgivings?
Yeah, it was a Thanksgiving.
Did you eat a lot?
Some parts were really good and some parts were really bad, and the way it goes. It's family holidays.
Yeah, it was a long weekend.
It was nice to eat like a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten like that in a while, so it was nice to really just
I
munch down.
I ate all weekend long.
Yeah.
Well, I had Thanksgiving dinner, and Saturday I had a Friendsgiving, where I made we didn't do turkey because we were like, fuck that, we don't want more turkey. We've already had enough turkey.
Yeah.
So we did. I did pulled chicken. We pretty much did like a crock apocalypse, where everybody made crock pot dishes. And
There
then
you go.
Sunday I went out for my brother's birthday to his pizza place in Philly. That was really good.
There you go. Sounds good.
What pizza place?
Tacanelli's.
I don't know that one.
It's you have to pre-order, like you have to like order in advance like how many pies you want, because they only make it to order for the day,
Yeah.
and it's all done in like this 100-year-old brick oven.
Is it good?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Taganelli's?
Tacanelli's.
Taganelli's?
Yeah, it's like I think it's like $15 per pie, but it's like super high quality and everything's like locally sourced. Like they go over to the Italian marts in Philly, and they go buy everything every day. They're only opened I think Wednesday through Sunday,
Hmm.
and they're only open from like 5 to 9 at night.
Yeah,
But
that's
they make bank, and it's really quality. It's really good.
that's like some of my favorite places in Philly. They're open for like 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
But everyone goes like in that time period. Dude,
Yeah,
one of the best restaurants I worked at, it was open from 5 to 9. And I mean, it was packed every night, and there was maybe 10 tables in that restaurant. It was so small. My apartment's probably bigger than that fucking restaurant, but because it's so good, it's like they have to spend time on each dish, and they can't, because there's only a chef and a sous chef. They can't like fucking cook for that many people that well. So they get like super high reviews, and they make a lot of money off the wine and stuff. But I was just thinking like, damn, this place would make so much money if they just opened it up, just like, made it like 25, 30 seats. There's literally like 10, maybe 12 tables.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the staff.
And as a waiter, I made so much money because the checks would be like $300,
Yeah, the staff is super small. Like there's one guy who's
Yeah.
doing all the pizzas,
Yeah.
like in and out. He's got some other people helping him, like waitresses and waiters and stuff. But like he's the one person like in the kitchen doing the pizzas for 4 hours straight.
Yeah, that's awesome. I gotta check that out. I've never heard of it. Do you know where in Philly it is?
Port Richmond.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's a small little place. The best pizza, the one I'd recommend, the prosciutto red. Like the tomatoes, like this, like because they're tomato pies. The tomatoes are so good.
Yeah.
And then if you like prosciutto, like I love prosciutto. It's a little salty, but like it's really flavorful.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. She just showed me a picture of the water in this thing, and it's like shit water.
Oh, is it like a pie? Because you keep saying pie instead of pizza.
It's a pie.
A pizza pie. All right.
Well, that's what they call a tomato. Like that's what like one of the definitions for it is pizza pie, like a tomato pie. I don't know if that's a Philly thing or an Italian thing. I don't know.
That's definitely an East Coast thing.
Okay.
A pizza pie? Pizza pie?
Well, no, pizza pie is
But a tomato
normal,
pie.
but just like straight up, no, it's a fucking pie. Like,
Oh yeah, I didn't know that was a jersey. I thought that was just a thing on the that people said. I didn't know it was specific to the East Coast. That's what I call it, a
like,
pie. You go pick up a pie.
yeah,
Yeah.
like all the time. Yeah, no, that's more of an East Coast thing,
And that's funny.
or like Northeast.
Yeah, go get a pie. Let's stop in and get a
Yeah.
pie.
It's
I never
sausage
realized
pie.
that. All right, you guys been playing any games? Any new games?
I finished Yakuza.
Okay.
That was like 30 hours.
All right, I want to know your full review of Yakuza. Not the full review, but like your final score. Now that you
My
finished
final
it,
score pretty much stays where it was from last week's episode.
which was like a 9, right? I think you said.
I think it was like an 8.75.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. It turns out that even though I put 30 hours into it and I thought I did a lot of stuff, apparently I only completed 49% of the game.
Mm.
And all that other 51% is all the other side quests and like mini games
Damn.
and like all that side content. And I'm like, Jesus. Yeah, I'm not about to sit here and do that. But overall, story was fun. I enjoyed the ending to it. And it's hitting Steam soon, so people who don't have a PlayStation will be able to play it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when I'll pick it up. I've been playing Battlefield 5 still, but also I got the new Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where you play as a Spartan, and
I've been meaning to get that.
it's
It's
good.
like- It's the first Assassin's Creed that I've actually wanted in a long time, and that's mostly just because I'm a basic bitch for Roman and Greek culture
Yeah,
and that era of history.
you're not gonna like the voice acting. The voice acting is a little over the top and cheesy, kind of racist. You know, where every like pseudo Egyptian talks like this. Hey man, what are you doing? You know, just like super like I don't know. It's just like not good voice acting.
Not Latin, but like fake quasi American Italian.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a fun dude. After playing the one before that, which I think was Origins, and then playing this one, I'm like, I can see why the Assassin's Creed genre has gotten so big because it is a fun, rewarding game, and it like after playing so much Red Dead, moving from a game like that to a game that's so fluid and like moving your horse anywhere you want to move it and like being able to like actually do like fluid combat, it does feel like so much better. Like just fluid wise, it just runs so much better. And I'm on PC playing it, and playing that game compared to like the Xbox at 60 frames per second, it's just such a good experience. If you have a nice beefy PC, don't get it on console. Get it on your PC so you can bump those frames because it does make a world of a difference. Looks great, plays great. It's just fun. I'm not that far into it though. I've only maybe played about 5 to 10 hours, but I'm having a good old time playing it, and it's just, like I said, it's a nice little break from Red Dead because Red Dead's such a heavy thinking man's game and so many big themes in it, and not a lot of it is very fun. Where this one is just like, you're not really like, I just skip right through the cutscenes, and I'm just like, you know, I'm a Spartan. I just want to level up my dude or my chick. I'm playing as a woman in this one, and you know, getting all these cool armor sets and stuff like that. It's fun. You'll have a good time playing it if you like action RPGs. It's a good one.
Hell yeah.
It's not much else to say about it, you know. Like there's not much depth there, but
Yeah,
it is fun.
The way they did their whole story is
The story is
like-
just enough. Like it's
yeah.
good, but it's just enough to keep you playing.
Yeah, like,
You know?
and like some of them are better than others, but it's frustrating too because it's like, no, this is a game where the story really only makes sense if you've played 17 games,
Yeah.
because like they put in just a tiny bit of like it's an episode, you know, it's a TV episode of a 15 episode long season,
Yeah.
and it like that's kind of cool but kind of really frustrating at the same time. 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of it's not the greatest cohesion wise because of that.
Well, it's cool because it's like each set piece is like a different story, but like the behind the story where, you know, you're in that sort of like contemporary modern age thing. Like that, if you haven't played the other ones, you kind of be like, why are we jumping between time periods here?
Yeah.
But you don't really need to know any of that stuff because it's just a fun sort of open world game where you got a lot of stuff to do, and the combat is super fun. I wish the combat was a little bit more advanced. This is the thing. It's an easy game. You know what I mean? I'm playing on very hard right now, and the only difficulty that you kind of run into is just like hit points. So I can pretty much beat any boss that I encountered now, but it would just take me years to kill them because their hit points are so high compared to how much damage I put in. You know what I mean? Where it's not like they're fighting better than me, or there's new sort of weird things I gotta watch out for, like with like with Nier. There's like certain little triggers that you have to look for with an enemy to try to attack these weak spots. With this, it's sort of just like, how good are you with a controller? And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I can literally beat anyone I want. It's just I need to get to their level so I can do enough damage to kill them in a timely manner. So that's there. Oh, there's also this new sort of like, they kind of take the Nemesis system. They call them the bounty hunters. And essentially there's like these free roaming bounty hunters that try to kill you when they see you. And you can either kill them or pay them off, or there's some other things you could do with them. But I've just been fighting them. But that's a cool little thing because it kind of plays off that weird Nemesis system that was in the Lord of the Ring games. And I do like that feature. It's kind of cool because you'll be doing some mission and then it'll just see like, oh, bounty hunter's coming, and he's pretty good. Like, he's a pretty strong dude, so it's gonna take a while to fight him. And you can either engage or you can try to hide away from him, and it leads into the story pretty well. There's also like good like ship, battleship fighting. So you take command of these big battleships, and you can like, basically just become like pirate of the seas and just like take over other ships and board them, take their loot, get out of there. That's been kind of cool. But it's not very difficult at the same time. So if you're just looking for just like some fun, it's a good one to play. I don't know why people are calling it Game of the Year. I don't think it even comes close to some of these like God of War. Like, it's not even close to God of War.
But is
No,
it
dude.
Fortnite?
I was gonna say Fortnite's Game of the Year. Come on. You're behind the times.
Like, come on, let's be honest. It's Fortnite.
Didn't Fortnite come out last year though?
Yes.
I don't understand why it's
Early
fucking
access.
Game of the Year for this year for that stupid award show.
It's joystick. What do you expect?
I don't know. I guess not much, huh?
Okay, so like, I don't know which Assassin's Creeds have you played? Have you played all of them, or
No.
Fuck no.
I played the first one, and I've played the one before this one, and I played this one, and I played a little bit of Black Flag, but I never got to really get into Black Flag. I don't remember why. I think it's just another game.
If this was the one that kind of not necessarily bring Assassin's Creed back, so like Odyssey did that a little bit, or was this Odyssey?
This is Odyssey. The last one was Origins, which is kind of they're very similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Assassin's Creed like fatigue where they come out every year. But I mean, if the quality's there, the quality's there. I just always say that the second game was my favorite.
Second was good.
I think you'll like because I hear a lot of people really do like this game, like Assassin's Creed fans and non-Assassin's Creed fans. Like, it's been getting good critical acclaim. I mean, it's getting nominated for Game of the Year. So there is a lot to do. It's a fun open world game. The world is huge. The world looks great. Like, it's a great looking game. It's fluid. It feels great. But it's just not. There's no depth to it. You know what I mean?
That's what I expect. It's one of those things. Like, I would feel so bad if it won Game of the Year. Like, I want to play it, and I want it, and obviously I haven't played it yet. But like, no, Assassin's Creed should have won Game of the Year for like 2, like when it was new. But now it's like, okay, we've perfected it, but at the end of the game, end of the day, it's still a formula that's now like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Did they give up on the whole like real world like backstory of like shadow governments? Because
no, that's still a thing apparently.
Like, when they focused so much on that, it was like Mm.
Dude,
No.
honestly, no. That's the only thing that's actually interesting about it to me, to be honest.
There's
It was
not there
interesting.
hasn't been that much
Yeah.
of that in at least in the last one or in this one. It's
Well,
really just about the time period.
they kind of quit it because that's what I was saying too, where it's like episodic of like that was the only thing that made any of them make sense.
Yeah. It's
Like, at
still
all.
like their backstories there, but it's not a focus at all, really.
But yeah,
It's
and
kind of
it's
just
never
like,
been.
as a mulligan, as a reason
Yeah.
why they're going to these periods. It's just a backdrop.
Yeah.
It's because you're the clan of assassins who are fighting the Templars, and one side's evil, but you don't know which side it is. Oh no,
Yeah.
morally gray, etc.
I
Yeah,
will
that's
say the
entire backstory.
Spartan story's cool. You know, you play as I don't know if this is a spoiler or anything. I don't think it is. It's like pretty early in the game. But you basically play as like Spartacus's offspring who was like sacrificed and he thought you died. And you're going back and you know the story goes to you want to go kill him or whatever.
So the whole game's set in Lazy Town.
But you're not. It's not. But Spartacus isn't your father. It's I forget his name. It's not Leonidas either. But it's like some Spartan. But you know, it deals with like this one deals with like darker tones. Like you know, there's a lot more brutal. It's just more of a brutal game. So you can see they're trying to kind of hit that God of War brutality, but it's just done in an Activision way where it's like, dude, you need to hire some better voice actors. Like, do the Rockstar thing. Spend money on good voice actors. Spend
Don't
money
make
on
a
good
game every year.
spend money on good writers. Don't make a game every year. Just take your time, because then this could have been an awesome God of War competitor, or just like a because it does feel like God of War and how it's like. And how it's presented, just more liberal. Like there's just a lot more stuff to do in the open world. But I think, like I said, if you are a fan of Assassin's Creed, you're gonna love this one. This one is better than the last one, and I like the last one a lot. But if you are someone looking for like Red Dead Redemption, like something to play after Red Dead Redemption that is the same kind of caliber, I do not think this is it. Not even close. It's just there's no like God of War had so much depth to that story. It was like
Don't spoil it for me.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I would say you should play God of War, to be honest.
I'm currently playing God of War, so don't spoil it.
Oh, you
for
are
me.
right now. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, I'm not gonna spoil. It's just such a good story, dude. Such a good story.
I just hope the boy meme never dies. Like that's all I've gotten so far. Like I've made it decently far into it, but it's just like, just shut the fuck up. Like
Hey,
for real.
boy.
No, the guy I bought it from too, he like just was like, no, it seems like a really good game, but I like quit 20 minutes in because he wouldn't stop saying boy. And
I
like,
don't
he's
think he
never-
says it
he's-
that much, does he?
At times, yeah, dude. No, he just like he has a child, so he's just like, I can't take this. I just fucking quit. Like fuck this game.
All right. Anything else? Anyone playing anything else? Oh, I was gonna ask you what I want to play. I was looking at RTS games and I was looking at Frostpunk, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be into Frostpunk, but I'm looking for like an RTS, not really
Yeah,
a strategy game.
Frostpunk's not RTS at
Yeah.
all, basically. If you want RTS, there's
Something pretty modern.
not a lot of really good RTSs, but the
That's what I was
close
seeing. I couldn't really find
Yeah.
any good ones.
no, like that it's kind of sad until Warcraft 3 remastered comes out or whatever they're calling it. Like there's not really RTSs. That whole genre kind of died.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Which
why are
sucks.
they're all kind of like the news, like the Civ games, like Total War is kind of like the Civ games.
Well, I was gonna say no. That was gonna be my recommendation. Is Total War. I still play a fuck ton of Total
So
War.
it's not like a Civ game.
No, like there is a campaign to it, and a lot of it's on a campaign map. But that's just like where the cities are, where you go to the actual cities, you take an army that you recruit, and that is a real-time strategy, like an RTS style battle.
Okay.
Like with all of your units, and you have to command them, blah blah blah. Like that is an RTS style game. Yeah.
All right. And the newest one. Well, I saw that there was one called like
I wanna
Total War Attila
Attila's
or Arena or something.
Arena's actually getting canceled.
Oh,
Which
it
sucks.
is?
Yeah, but that's the free one. That's like with Wargaming, so it's like World of Tanks, all of those kinds of things.
So it's not like your
That's-
normal Total War.
Right. If God, Thrones of Britannia sucked. IMO. Spoiler warning. Don't buy it.
Was it the
Personal
newest
opinion.
one?
Yeah, that's the newest one, and it's not like a full Total War game too. It would probably actually be pretty decent for you because it's a lot simpler than a lot of the Total War games. Because a lot of the Total War games can get really, especially the older ones, they can get really deep in management outside of the battle system for your campaigns and stuff.
Like I don't mind some of that, but I don't want a game that's only that.
Yeah, it's not only that for sure. Like battles are still a big focus, but you have to, if you want to get good at the game, you have to get good at both.
Should I get Warhammer 2? I was thinking about that one too.
Warhammer 2 is a lot of fun. If you get Warhammer 2, I'd buy both of them, like Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 1, because they did do a cool thing there that outside of the main campaign mode, they have a campaign mode called Mortal Empires that combines both of the Warhammer maps, and they're going to probably do it again whenever they release Warhammer 3, that will let you play anything from those two games, and it's all of them together, which is cool. But that's more of a fantasy style. If you want more of a realistic style, Attila's fine. I know a lot of people who hate Attila. I think it's completely fine. Rome 2's good now.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you start going older, you probably won't like them because the graphics can deteriorate real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the age of the game.
So that's the series that you recommend then.
Oh yeah, dude. I love the Total War series.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
I've played way too much time. I've spent way too much time in those.
Because I was watching someone play like the New Age of Empires, and I was
It's
like,
actually in my background running right now. So
Total War.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just craving some RTS, and I was like, I actually haven't played a new RTS game. I haven't even heard of any new RTS games. So I was looking, and I was like, there really aren't none. There's a lot of like Tropico, Civ style games, and I'm not into like those games. Like I can get into them, but I'm just not in the mood right now. I want to play like a battle, you know. And then I saw that I can't wait for the Chucklefish one to come out, the Advance Wars one. That one's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, if you want to focus more on the battles, I would check out the Thrones of Britannia.
All right,
I don't think it's that great as a Total War game, but it like that focuses more on the battles than like the campaign management. But I also think the units are more boring too. But
I might even check out Warhammer. Like Warhammer sounds interesting too.
The Warhammer ones are actually a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Like they did a great job for those.
All right, cool. All right, let's get into. Oh, how is have you been playing Fallout 76 too? Or are you done playing that game? Because I'm not hearing good things about it.
I'm like on and off with it. I got to get back into it because they're gonna do some updates and stuff. It was weird. It was a lot of people are pissed, and I can kind of see why. But at the same time, I like a lot of people are comparing it to No Man's Sky, and some of those I think are valid, and some of them I don't think are valid.
How so? What are they comparing it to?
Well, like just how people want to compare it to No Man's Sky is like, oh, it's a fucking terrible game, and it's like, yeah, no, it's kind of
they lied, like the way that No Man's Sky lied.
That's what I'm getting into is like, no, they're comparing it to it that it's an empty game, but some people are trying to say they lied, and in my opinion, it's like they don't really ever lie.
I mean, there's a difference between lying and marketing. No Man's Sky lied. They said it was a non-lie, like it wasn't.
Right, and then like and to me, like no, like.
But saying like your game is a great game and your game sucks, that's not a lie.
Right.
You're just subjective.
Everything that they said was going to be in the game's in the game. Like it doesn't mean it's a great game, but like they never flat out lied about what the product is. They never hid what the product is, and they came out and put it out in 6 months and didn't lead people on for 3 years.
It's just not what people wanted. So
right,
it's not lying.
Right. So like in that aspect, I'm just like every time I hear that, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot, I
Well, that's
guess. But okay.
the gaming industry or community, you know.
Yeah. But like the actual game itself, it's a really weird love hate where it doesn't feel entirely finished.
I can see
And
that.
Bethesda shocking. But like I can see what they were attempting to achieve, and even though they haven't made the game that they really wanted, you can kind of see that vision, and that vision actually is pretty cool.
So,
Like when you're actually getting in and playing it.
what is that vision? Do you think?
I think it needs NPCs,
But they're
but
not
like
gonna
the
throw
idea,
them in there. I thought.
right? And they're not, and that's where it's like, fuck you. But like the idea of it being a massive world with people running around, you can see that and you get that most of the time because the way the servers are managed, they're always full. So like you do run into people and stuff, and it like that is kind of cool, and it feels more a little more real, but not great.
Mm.
But like I don't know, it's one of those weird things too where a lot of people are saying like, oh yeah, it's super boring, and I think that depends on how you approach Fallout games, because like there's about as much stuff to do as there was in 3, I think, at times. But like 3, I think people are confusing lonely with boring, because the game feels lonely as shit, and like it should. Like Fallout 3 was lonely as shit for most of the time. Like that's when they hit their peak at times. Was no, it's a fucking nuclear apocalypse. You're supposed to feel alone. Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Like that's the feeling you should be getting. Is like, fuck, dude. Like, but
Yeah, but there were also like a good cast of characters too. That
no, and that's what the game's missing entirely.
Yeah.
Like if even if in like a DLC they added a faction that came and had quests or something, it would completely change that game
Yeah.
for the better. I just don't think they'll be able to, because on that engine,
It's done. Yeah. I don't even think it's worth it for them because the game didn't sell very well. Like I can get it for like $35 right now.
yeah.
It's just like a half off. But
And honestly, dude, like for like 20, $35, it's actually not terrible. Like
yeah, that's what I'm
I don't
thinking.
think it's a
Like,
full price, but like for there's enough to do, and a lot of it still feels like Fallout. The gunplay still feels good. It's rewarding sounding. Like there's still a good amount to do if you play it like a Fallout game and find the shit that you're supposed to find.
yeah,
But
that's how I play Fallout. Like I like the story, obviously,
right.
but also like I like to
But, like,
make the crazy guns and stuff like that.
yeah, but I also mean like in all of the Fallout games, a lot of the stories not coming from the NPCs. It's like it's coming from the terminal that's left behind, or like shit
Right.
like that, and like letters. That is where a lot of the story comes from. So like if you play it like that way, that's still a lot there, but it just doesn't feel finished. And it's one of those things where like
It's probably not finished.
yeah, it really isn't. But like it's one of those things where it kind of sucks, because it's like, God, if you probably gave this a new engine and say like another year or two and figured out how to add NPCs, but with the base tools and setup you already have, it'd be a fucking fantastic game.
Well, speaking of which, we have some news here about Fallout 76. Glitches cause a full-blown legal investigation. So what the fuck
That's
does this
fucking
even
funny.
mean?
Your guess is as good as mine, because okay, it's
Oh my
been
God, this website is such garbage.
I know.
I can't even click out. I just froze my computer. What is this? God damn it. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because it has to do with refunds.
Yeah.
So what?
Okay.
So can you explain? Because I need to bring up the article again.
Well, so Bethesda's official policy: customers who have downloaded the game are not eligible for a refund. It's essentially just them trying to stop people from like getting the game for free by downloading it, playing it, and then saying, "Oh, it's not what I want. I want my money back."
Yeah.
So yeah. As a result,
So what's the glitch?
Migliaccio and Rathod LLP is investigating Fallout 76 a game many are saying is unplayable due to its technical problems. So what people are
I
essentially
see.
is the whole buggy issue, the buggy release that it's had. People bought it, and they're realizing that this game like just isn't very well made.
Is that enough to warrant a refund?
Yes, if it's that bad, but that's I don't know. I have a really good PC. I haven't had that many issues.
I mean, it did launch
Like,
with
definitely not to the point of it being
56
unplayable.
gig. It launched with a 56 gigabyte patch.
Yeah, that is insane.
That's a problem.
That's another. That's a game.
That's a big. Yeah, that's a size of one game as a patch.
Well, no, that made it Red Dead size. Because if you guys actually, the map is that fucking big. The map is that fucking
Red Dead to be that big with the amount of like everything they've put into it. But this
Yeah,
game doesn't have NPCs. It doesn't have a story. It doesn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, and it's obvious you haven't played it. Because you really underestimate how much actually is in that game. That's what does annoy me. Where it's like,
Yeah, but
no,
this is a
just 'cause
patch. This is a patch, though. It's
Yeah,
not
no,
like
it's a
a.
huge
It's not
patch,
like a
but
DLC.
No, I think the patch honestly was just kind of a replacement because my file size didn't change because the original base game was 49 and it didn't really go up to 100. So I like the 56 gig patch. I don't think it completely was just like, here's 56 gigs added on.
No, it's a patch. It's just to fix the game. So it's whatever they needed to fix it. It was worth an entire. I mean, how big is Spider-Man? Right? Spider-Man was like 60 or 70 gigs.
Maybe. I don't even think it was that much. Was it?
I
don't know. But that's so much.
So
so they weren't.
I downloaded it day one and it worked completely fine as a single thing. It didn't even patch.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is that like a good enough defense? Because it obviously needed to be patched if they sent out a 56 gig patch. Like, you can't say that it didn't need to be patched when they sent out that much, information to put in.
They were trying to rush the release way too fucking early.
So I'm wondering if that case alone is enough to warrant a refund.
I mean, Fallout 76 got discounted.
I don't think that does though. I don't see how day one patch warrants that. If you haven't even started playing the game and it's trying to fix something, like that's not warranting a refund to me.
Like if you turned it on and it actually didn't work, that's obviously a refund, right?
That's a refund. That's a refund.
That's a refund.
If you just start installing it and then it just keeps installing, that's not a refund to me.
But I'm wondering, like, if there is a point where it's like, this isn't a finished product. I want my money. I want my money back until you give me a finished product. That's kind of what. Like, I wonder what that point would be.
They pushed it out early, but there's like seriously, that's what that's the crazy part is, okay, I played that game every single day for 5 days because it kept me coming back. I still have seen a quarter of the map. That's it. I've only made it through a quarter of the bottom right-hand corner of that entire game. And I haven't even been to everywhere in that bottom right-hand corner.
So even that, so you don't even know how many bugs there could be,
Yeah. But like on top of that, like, no, that's why I'm saying that's why I'm not that shocked by the patch size. Like the game really is that fucking big. Like I'm not.
Yeah, but we're not arguing about the size of the game.
Well, that matters of how big the fucking patch is gonna be.
No, but we're arguing about the bugs. Like, is how broken it is.
But that's. I think
the size doesn't really matter in that context.
I think it really depends because I haven't had that. Like that's why I was saying like. I guess I'm lucky because I have a very good PC. Okay, one town for one day I had a very bad issue of lag. Outside of that, yeah.
Like external lag? Like you don't think it was just like a server issue? Or you think it was a server issue?
It was server issue, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like outside of that, it's just like, oh yeah, when I'm loading the game's still loading like a little bit. Wow, I'm loading a game. Imagine that. Like
one of the things that I saw too is like, I think it was the Angry Joe did a review on it, and he said he showed an example that one of the bugs in the old Fallout actually are in this one. And it's like
Oh,
when
I'm
you put
sure
the
it's still
suit
the same
on.
engine.
Yeah, when you put this but they said they knew about this bug for years now. They didn't patch it in the old one, and they refused to patch it in this one, which I find that's pretty interesting to
That's
me.
not a bug. That's a feature.
It's a feature. Yeah.
That's Bethesda for
It's like
you.
when you put the power suit on, it turns you into like a human power suit. It looks like super goofy. I don't know if it's game breaking, but it's not. It's not nice to look at. But I do wonder if there is a point where you can actually argue that.
I think this whole thing kind of
Probably.
raises the point that like video game refunds are really not a good. There's just really like it doesn't matter if you buy digitally or physically.
There's not a good system for it.
There's no good system.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
music and
As soon as
movies,
Even
right?
if you buy a game from GameStop, as soon as you literally open the plastic wrap,
Yeah, it's yours.
you cannot return it
Yeah.
unless you are returning it for a defect.
And it's also
They won't give you your money back. They'll just give you another like copy.
And I understand
It's-
that.
right.
I do
This is
understand
a hard
that.
system unless you have DRM like Steam, where you can actually track how much time you've put into it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like,
yeah, and it's like with movies and music, it's like, like what would even warrant a refund for an album unless you accidentally got the wrong one? That's about the only scenario I can think of. You can't listen to an album and be like, I don't like there's no drum track here, right? Can I return this album? It's
I mean,
that's the album.
this
I
is the
don't
reason
know.
why-
you bought the product.
Like,
as it is.
didn't Kanye
Yeah.
release a song that wasn't finished and then he patched his song on Spotify? Was that warrant a refund? I don't know.
This is why you have to do your research as a consumer and only buy day one if you truly either one have done your research or two just know that it's really what you want. Like Smash
Yeah.
Brothers, I'm getting.
I
day
agree
one.
with this, but also I'm throwing this out there. At the same time, also be aware of fucking pure outrage. Because a lot of the things I see on YouTube and like reviews about this, no, it's just a spiraling thing of outrage that paints the game way fucking worse than it actually is. That's definitely an issue it's having where like, okay, both of you guys are going off about how fucking terrible this game is you've never played. And it's just like,
I didn't say
I didn't say the game was terrible.
No, you did for sure.
I just said that it doesn't have any NPCs and it doesn't have a story.
No, you were really going hard on it.
Yeah,
But
I didn't say it was bad. I just said what it doesn't have.
no,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
You don't have to defend Fallout. I don't think.
I'm not-
I
well,
don't
no,
know
I
if you're
am
on
too-
Bethesda's
No,
payroll.
I'm defending it to an extent because, like, no, there's such a huge amount of outrage about this game.
Yeah, there's
that
always
it's so,
that.
It's so undeserved.
The vocal
Where it's like, no,
minority-
it's bad, but no, this is a vocal majority of screaming idiots who are like compounding of having to like make it out 20 times worse than each other person to be the loudest voice, and it's a spiraling thing of like, it's so cool to hate this game, and it's just like, it's a bad game.
Definitely, when I looked at
it's a
the
bad
reviews, there was a lot of like, it was like pretty apparent that they everyone wants to make this game out to be like really bad.
Yeah, like no, it's like a massive hate boner on hate boner of like trying to outdo each other of how bad you're gonna call it. Where it's like, no, it's a bad game, but like, it's not in that realm of
It's not
games
Duke for forever.
yeah, like it's not in a realm of games that I've definitely paid and bought that are like utter steaming piles of dog shit. And it's not like No Man's Sky where it's like, no, you were lied to up until you bought it. And like, that's the way I see a lot of people treating this game, and that's where I get a little defensive. Where
That's
it's
why
like,
I say
no,
do
you're just
your
idiots.
research. Do your
Yeah.
research. If
But
you did your research, you would know that this is not a regular Fallout game.
Right, but what I'm saying is, on top of doing your research, also be aware of biases, because a lot of those biases, a lot of what we don't have Total Biscuit anymore, and a lot of game reviews that I'm seeing now are like
Sponsored.
they're either sponsored or they're just like dog shit, like
Hate
of just
boners
trying.
looking for views.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not a review. It's trying to do what you think your review is going to be for clicks.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm saying too, of like, try to listen to whatever the reviewer is saying, but actually just watch the game yourself of what they're like trying to show you, and not just listening to whatever they're screaming about.
Twitch and streaming will always be like some of the best ways to get a feel for what a game is.
Yeah, exactly. Twitch is great too. Like
I
that's how.
have bought and refused to buy games based
I
on
will say
Well, no,
though,
that's how I ended up deciding to actually buy it. Was I watched a guy who's a big Fallout fan, but I watched him play it every single day. It was available in the beta, and I watched the entire streams that were sometimes 8 full hours of like, oh, okay, so that's what this game is. Yeah, I think I can live with it for a bit.
and it's free advertising.
yeah, and
Unless
the thing with like the gaming community
Or-
doesn't understand too is like if something is like if a game is bad, then just let it be bad. Like it's okay that some games are bad. You know what I mean? Like not every game needs to be Red Dead or God of War. Like some games are gonna not be that good. And then like not everyone can make a fucking masterpiece. The same
And
thing
I'm
goes
the-
with movies. I don't
Yeah.
understand why there's such a difference between the like people who watch movies and or into albums and then the gaming industry. Like if you listen to an album and you don't like the album, you can say like this album it wasn't their best album, wasn't that good. But there isn't like an entire community trying to sue Universal because they put out a Britney Spears album. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it doesn't.
Dude, this game, it feels like Rust. It feels like Rust when Rust launched, where it's like, no, it's bad,
I
but
remember
it has
that.
potential. But the way like it's going, the same thing you were saying. Not every game's a masterpiece, but also not every game's fucking Bat Rats
Yeah.
or like things like that. Like, you,
But I
there's-
also
you
understand.
gotta. There's a reason why there's extremes, and you have to
Oh,
keep
God, I
them
forgot
as
about that.
extremes. You can't make everything an extreme.
Right. But I also do wonder the patch size. That is a huge patch size. That makes me really wonder how rushed the game really was. Because that's an entire game. That's a huge
knowing
fucking game.
Bethesda, like they
You know what's crazy too, real quick on a tangent? I shot a 30-minute video in 4K the other day, and it was bigger than 56 gigs. So I'm thinking like, damn, man, that's like, how can a game like Red Dead, which is rendered in 4K, be under the amount of gigabytes that my video shot? And I just thought that was interesting. But anyways, continue.
I mean, video game companies and compression, like look
Yeah,
at
I guess they're just
they're
good at
kings
it.
of Compression.
Yeah, optimizations and stuff. But I thought that was really interesting. All right, go ahead and continue your point. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Doobie.
I was talking about like music, and we were talking about hate boners. It just reminded me of Greta Van Fleet's album
Ooh.
when it came out. Like there was
The
nothing
recent
really
one?
wrong with it because I mean it was just like that classic rock feel. But everyone, when I can't remember what magazine it was, but they gave them like a 1.7 out of 10, and just the guy just like kept bashing them about everything from their aesthetic to just to their sound, and then everyone else started to hate to just like jump on the train and pile on it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's that bad. It's not.
Well, that's also subjective too. You know, when you talk about
Yeah.
reviews, it's like you get into subjectiveness.
You do, and then you also have to remember the golden key with reviews is you have to follow the same couple of people as a baseline, that you're going to learn how those people review things. Because I've also noticed that I got for Fallout, there's definitely a lot of people out there also reviewing the game who like know fucking absolute shit. Because there was one guy I saw a video from doing research who was just bashing on how poorly optimized this game is, and it's just like, well, okay, it's running a CPU intensive engine, and he's the thing that triggered me is he's sitting there talking about how he's got such an amazing computer because he's got a 1080 Ti, and he's got the old Broadwell Extreme Edition that's a 6-core CPU, and he's sitting here talking about how fucking baller his computer is, and it's so abysmal that he can't run this game properly at 1440p. And I'm just like sitting here like, well, yeah, it's a CPU bound game, so you never bothered looking up. Oh, and he's bitching about how someone like streamers are like, oh yeah, do you know this game's fine? Because he's like, oh yeah, they got a 2080 Ti, of course it's fine. It's like, no, they have a brand new computer. Your fucking CPU is 6 years old. It's literally for CPU bound games, it's literally what my CPU is, which is a Ryzen that costs like $100 now because I bought it last year. Like, I have to run games like that are CPU bound in 1080p. That's the limits of your technology. Your computer's not that fucking awesome. But him bitching there, like that, it fucking triggered me to no end. Of just like, yeah, if I'm to play Counter-Strike, I'm not running it at 1440p because it's CPU bound. But like,
Yeah, that's another interesting thing about.
if the game's graphics bound, yeah, I can run it 1440p, no problem, because I have basically the same CPU as him. But if it's CPU bound, no, I'm running it 1080p always, and it's just like you don't get that. Now you're just bashing the game in a 20-minute video because you're uneducated.
No, I don't know if I'd go that far and say that. It's not his fault the game is a CPU intensive game. You know what I mean?
But it is his fault for making a 20-minute video being uneducated on what CPU bound differences matter between GPU bound.
Yeah. But
like if you're going to make a 20-minute
but to be fair to his point, there are games that, you know, are running newer engines that probably run great on his CPU.
Yeah, because they're GPU bound games. He has a 1080 Ti. If it's a GPU bound game, it's going to run fantastic.
Yeah, but he has a right to be upset about that. You know what I'm saying?
To an extent.
Like this is the reason why this game doesn't really interest me, because it's an old engine, and like I played Fallout 4 and that felt old. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now is at a time where I'm playing Witcher, and Witcher is just such a, you know, gorgeous fucking game, and I want to play, like, I love Fallout 4, but
you want a
graphically
GPU bound game. Like that's what you want, and that's what most games are, and that's totally fine. It's just, to me, it is frustrating where you're like, no, you're trying to play a game that's like literally has to keep track of at all time. I think it's something like fucking 30 million individual pieces of gear and units. Like, yeah, you have to have a CPU that can do that.
Yeah.
And he's bitching that like he's got to run it at 1080p like a pleb. And it's just like, bro, I'd feel for you if your computer, other than your graphics card, wasn't 6 years old.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Makes sense.
Jerry obviously loves Fallout 76.
I don't even love it. It's just like I don't get the hate boner.
Dude, it's the gaming industry. There's always a new thing to hate, and right now it's Bethesda. Like if you watch like the Angry Joe one, which is the one I watched.
I'm waiting for it to go back to Blizzard, dude. I just want the hate to be back on Diablo.
Yeah, right. The fucking dude. No, I'm gonna defend fucking Blizzard here and say I want more. I want StarCraft on mobile. I want fucking Overwatch on mobile. I want it all on my phone. All right, we got over 10 game announcements to be made at Game Awards. So this seems to be a new thing to announce a title at an award show.
No, there was some last year.
There was some, but were there 10? Over 10?
I don't think there were 10. I think there were some updates.
I can't use this website. This website fucking kills my computer.
Is it going to be Sony games?
Well, I mean, I think we saw more of Death Stranding last year, I think, right? Or was it the year before that?
No, I think we did. I think
we got the announcement of Bayonetta 3 last year.
Well, what I'm saying is, are they all Sony games? Because it sounds like they're mostly.
Well.
Okay, but it still sounds mostly Sony.
Well, to be fair, Sony basically releases everything.
They do. Well, they do, but it
likes to show stuff at the Game Awards.
Okay. Well, I think I could see Nintendo doing that. It would just make sense to me if Sony was releasing more, because they've already announced they're not going to like half of the gaming conventions.
Yeah, if they're going to be, I feel like the updates will be more Sony based, because I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe a new sneak peek at Death Stranding again.
Yeah, like because they already announced they're like, you know, they're not going to E3, they're not going to like half of the conventions. Would totally not be shocked if they just released a bunch of crap.
Maybe Microsoft shows up here and maybe announces one or two games that their recently acquired studios might be working on. Even
Let's
if it's
hope
just
so.
Like a 20-second trailer.
If Obsidian makes an RPG, I would consider buying a fucking Xbox for that. Actually, I guess I would be able to play it on computer. But
that's the nice thing about Xbox. You pretty much get all their titles on PC now.
Yeah,
I'm expecting at least an update to Bayonetta 3 from Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
because they announced it there last year, and we haven't heard anything since. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do another trailer for it there, because it just kind of seems fitting. It's where they announced it.
I hope we get to see some Last of Us. You think we'll see some of that?
Maybe.
I mean,
Should be
I'm not really interested in too many future titles other than Smash coming out, which is going to be out any day now, and then Last of Us
for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
That and you can just go get debated about how you can already buy Smash Brothers Switches that with the game on the box, but it doesn't come with the game.
I love that. And then retail versions in South America got released anyway.
the leaked ones or something.
Oh, it got leaked hard.
Yeah,
Good.
did it
They
get
should.
it's
I'm
not
still-
fair. I want to play. I want to get a head start.
No, you should, because I'm still salty that like you can go walk into fucking.
I want to be better than Doobie
Walmart
at this game.
and you see a Switch that's branded with it, has it all over, says it comes with the game, and then in fine print is like, oh, but you can't download it till December. But by the way, you could buy it before Thanksgiving. Like that's fucking bad.
I when they announced that during that one direct, everybody was like, oh, why? Why do you announce this? Like why are you releasing this before the game's even out?
Yeah.
They just need some extra cash.
I mean, it
before their
made
new
sense because the
Switch.
game wasn't coming out until after Black Friday, so they needed something to push at Black Friday. So I get that, but that was a weird decision.
Pokemon Go is the fastest selling Switch game. Pokemon Let's Go, I'm sorry. Fastest selling Switch game compared to all of them?
3 million in its first, I guess, like the first, was it the first
Yeah,
week
but that
or
was
something?
more than. Well, I guess Zelda was a launch title, so it would make sense that the sales were a little slower on that. Even though you couldn't get it. Remember, you couldn't even get a Switch for a while. I had to fucking.
Yeah, I had to stand in line for like an hour.
I had to fucking catch. Oh my god, the journey of me getting a Switch was a rough one, but I got one. But yeah, I remember that. So,
Even
and then
Mario.
what was the next one? Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey.
So that one was.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
all
I
about-
don't.
Pokemon has just the selling power.
Yeah.
Plus,
it's
there's a
like-
lot more Switches out now. Is basically what I'm saying.
There's
That's
that
true.
too, but it's also Pokemon. Like it's one of those things that it's
Are you?
It's
Did
all
you get
over
this,
Reddit.
Doobie?
I did not get it, but I have watched a lot of footage on it, and I've come around on some of my opinions on it.
I think I might get it.
it's all over Reddit. It's gonna
looks
sell
fun.
a shit ton.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. It looks fun. It has a lot of really interesting, different like changes to some of the core systems that I actually kind of hope they move to the mainline titles.
Yeah.
But I don't like when people were coming out going, "This game isn't my Pokemon. It's gonna sell like shit," and I was just like, it may not be like directly marketed
It'll
towards the
sell,
core
yeah.
player. It's going to sell. Pokemon sells.
This
It
is the
just-
thing with Pokemon that I realize is so valuable about the brand. Like my cousins got it, and now I'm like, maybe I'll get it because my cousins have it, and it would be nice to play Pokemon with them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's
That's
what
entirely it.
Pokemon does. At Pokemon Go had the same thing. Everyone had Pokemon Go or catch a Pokemon. So I was like, maybe I'll just download it and try it
And
out.
even as a cultural fad in the 90s, and it's no
Everyone had it.
as big as the cultural fad in the 90s,
Yep.
people remember, even if they go, that's a Pikachu, and it's obviously a Charmander. It's the idea that, like, you know,
They knew what it
so does
is.
Coca-Cola, all Pokemon are Pikachu.
Yeah.
But people remember the name.
Yeah.
It's
It
like
has
the only
a lot
thing
of
that's
that,
come
right?
close to Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Like for branding, you know what I mean?
Who's going to remember Digimon?
I would say soon it will be the Hello Kitty, you know. You know,
It's
I
got a
don't
long
know
road,
many.
Unfortunately.
Well, I just don't
If
know
you
many
look
of the
at- if you
newer
look at the-
kids that are gonna know who Hello Kitty is over Pikachu.
Oh, it like maybe not here, but
In
no,
Japan,
definitely
it's
still
still-
yeah. Like there, it's still. If you look deep into like how much that brand grosses, it's absolutely.
It's also been around for decades.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's the #1 grossing brand, isn't it?
It's
I
either
believe-
one or two. Like it's disgusting how much that brand makes.
I don't even really ever see it either, which is crazy.
It's a worldwide brand, man.
Yeah. Like I said, Pokemon, it sells. It's just it's like Nintendo's always gonna print money with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Even though they should print money instead with other pocket monster type games.
They got Yokai Watch if you want that.
What is that? Oh my watch.
It's like
I'm thinking
it's
more
like Pokemon.
Monster Rancher,
Man,
to be
how many
honest.
people really remember Monster Rancher?
I
though?
fucking remember Monster
I know. I
Rancher.
remember Monster Rancher.
I
Look,
miss
guess what?
Monster Rancher.
I don't know
dude.
what that
Put in
is.
PlayStation discs, which would
Yeah.
give you new monsters. I remember that.
I don't know what that
fucking love
is.
Monster
Who
Rancher,
even
dude.
remembers Digimon?
I remember Digimon.
Yeah, but like I'm talking like kids who are
Yeah.
like who still recognize Pokemon.
I couldn't tell you
But
their
they ain't
names.
90s
That's
kid.
the thing.
No.
I remember
Blue Eye
Digimon, I
Dragon.
can't
That's
remember
all
the
I
name.
remembered. Blue Eye Dragon.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh,
I
that
thought
was Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, Digimon was. Where
Oh, it's
everything
two
was-
different things. I just realized that.
Yeah, Digimon was the one that ended with like cyber. Everything was like in the cyber, and everything was like
Mon.
Gabumon, Agumon, Flymon,
Dubimon.
Dubimon,
Dubimon-san.
Dubimon. Jesus.
That's your new weeb name, Dubimon-san. Dubimon-san. All right.
Dubimon-chan?
Nintendo America reveals Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has become most pre-ordered Smash and Switch title ever.
Now I wonder if this is going
That's
to
a high
quickly
bar.
become the fastest selling Switch game after Pokemon.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I definitely
Because
think so.
everybody wants Smash.
I
You
want
don't get
Smash.
it. It's a system in a studio that's releasing a game every trimester. Each one's gonna be the best selling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very true. And they're all going to be 10 out of 10s. They're all so good, dude. Super Mario Odyssey, 10 out of 10. Fucking Zelda,
Wild.
10 out of 10.
Except we were talking about reviews, and the one guy gave it a 7 out of 10, but then gave like some other weird games 9.5s, and we were like, what?
I want to know his review on Fallout 76. I wonder if it's a 9.5.
18. 18 out of 10.
Yeah, 18 out of 10. Yeah, I haven't pre-ordered it. Have you, Doobie?
Smash, yeah.
No, I haven't pre-ordered it, but I will I usually pre-order the day before.
I'll be getting it
I'll wait till the
Thursday night.
last second because I like all the news to come out about it, and then I'll make my decision on pre-ordering it that day.
Yeah, since there's a bunch of copies that got like released early by accident or
Oh yeah, you're getting a hard copy. Of it.
I've avoided any like spoilers for cutscenes in the story mode, but there's been a lot of like training videos going out, like tech stuff. So
Really?
apparently, some characters can wave dash.
What's that mean?
It was a thing in Melee that was a glitch that they didn't bother taking out. Like they knew about it, but it's when you air dodge into the stage, your character will like slide.
Oh yeah.
But while they're sliding, you can also input other movement, like other like things. So the easiest one was Luigi, who could kind of like go almost half the screen with a wave dash. But you can also like charge a down smash at the same time. So you would just slide really fast across the screen and then hit your opponent with a move that you really shouldn't going that speed. So it became a huge thing for competitive. And apparently there are very few select characters right now in Ultimate that when they air dodge into the stage, they get some sort of movement where they can still act out of that. So essentially they have a smaller version of wave dashing, which is kind of weird.
It's probably intentional, you think?
I don't think it is.
Oh, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
Well, if they knew about it.
If it was intentional, then more characters would have it, is what I'm saying.
But if they knew about it, what does that mean then?
Well, I don't know if they knew about this one. But,
I
I mean, they have the ability to patch it, so they could always patch it.
I can't wait, dude. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so
GameCube
good.
game.
I can't wait for people to freak out that Nintendo's servers are just the worst in the world. You think the Fallout 76 outrage is mad? Wait till they find out these servers are so bad.
I mean, the majority of people
I can't wait for the chat to hear me now.
The majority of people buying Smash are not buying it as a fighting game. They're buying it as a party game for when they get drunk with their friends.
No, I disagree. I disagree. I think a
Everything-
majority of
I
them
agree
are.
with you.
Smash Brothers are competitive fighting game fans.
I
The
disagree.
the vast majority is it's a party game.
I think the vast majority want to play online and
The
fight
vast
other people
majority wants to
online.
play with items on pages that are jank.
No one plays. There's the competitive
And
scene.
no,
They'll play tethered.
online. No, they might play online, but like for the vast majority, I still think it's a party game entirely.
We'll see, but I heavily disagree. I think it's a lot of people are gonna hop online like they do COD, get into matchmaking, and they're gonna find out that it's gonna be terrible experience.
Oh yeah, they'll still do
like a vocal minority of people who are mad as hell, but it's not going to be the majority of the people buying the game yelling about it.
Oh,
well,
no,
I can see them yelling about it because I still see a lot of like if you buy the game, you're gonna take it online. But
Right.
I do agree with Doobie that like no, the vast majority of people are buying it as a party game. They'll still play it online because they want to get better and stuff, but like their main reasoning for buying it is no, I want to go beat my brother.
Yeah.
Like not some
you
random
you have a party, and eventually the Smash Brothers comes out and items are on, and 8 people are playing because they've been drinking heavily, which is usually what my parties devolve into.
Dude, I've gotten so good at Mario Tennis that I can't wait to get good at this game just to beat Doobie. That's my goal with this game. I'm gonna be so good that I'm gonna beat you at this game. I'm gonna train. I think you underestimate the amount of free time that I have on my hands.
I'm gonna give you the Lawrence Fishburne. Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Give you the Morpheus.
All right, moving on. Oh god, what is this website? Nintendo news. Okay, I could deal with Nintendo news. Next Zelda game coming sooner than we think. That makes me happy.
Yeah, it's apparently from Game Informer.
They're a reputable source. They get their sources. They get sources basically.
So I mean, there's a couple things it could be. They could be doing something similar to what they did with Majora's Mask, where they're using the same Breath of the Wild engine, but a new game in that engine.
I wouldn't mind that.
Which is cool. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you still use the assets you have. Make something. They've already said that any new Zelda game going forward would be done in the Breath of the Wild style.
I wouldn't even mind if it was the same world. They just expanded it and they gave you a shitload of more weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
And enemies and stuff like that. I wouldn't even mind that.
Yeah, I mean, going forward, no Ganon again. Go with a new big bad. That'd be interesting. What new boss, big bad boss, could you throw at us? Because we've fought every incarnation of Ganondorf and Ganon for 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Change up the formula even more.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see a new enemy
system. Let us play as Zelda. Give me a badass Zelda with a sword. I would play the shit out of that. You kidding me?
Just talking about Zelda just now makes me want to play it again. That's how much I love that game. It's
such a solid game.
It really is.
But maybe this next Zelda game isn't a new game.
What do you mean?
Which brings us into the last news.
Or is it a remaster?
It could be a remake. Or not remake, it'd be a remaster, because I'm not going to remake it. It'd just be a remaster. Like an HD remaster of Skyward Sword.
So Skyward Sword came out on what?
On the Wii.
On the Wii. So this would be
It was motion controlled. It got a lot of flack.
Would it be a remaster if it was downscaled for the Switch? that throws a wrench into our discussion that we had last week.
Trust me, the Switch is still stronger than the Wii.
All right, I can probably get down
with that. The Wii was
that.
pretty fucking weak.
Yeah, so it would be a remaster. Yeah,
it would be a remaster, not a remake. It would just be updated visuals and stuff.
Well, that I wouldn't want. I don't know if I'd want that.
I like Skyward Sword, but I can see where people complain about that game because it was kind of on rails. It wasn't very open.
I don't want that at all.
It was a very linear game. Even when you compare it to some of the previous games like Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time.
Right.
Somewhat Twilight Princess. I think Twilight Princess was a little on rails as well. But I liked the game. I actually really enjoyed its dungeons, and I think the best way to say it is the highs it had, like the high highs, and had very low lows. Like when it did something well, it did it really well. Like the dungeons and bosses were really good. But then you had stuff that was just awful.
Would you say it holds a candle to Breath of the Wild, though?
I can't compare the two because they're two different genres.
Yeah.
They're just completely different games.
Yeah.
Like they're, especially since you realize like Breath of the Wild is extremely not on rails.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. It reminded me a lot of like Ocarina of Time and
Yeah,
just do whatever you want.
Skyward Sword was very much that classic. Go here, get item, open up progression. Go here, get item, open up progression.
A very 2003 game design.
Yeah, I mean it was.
It
was the last main console Zelda.
Well, Wii was what, PS2 era, right?
No, the Wii was PS3 and PS3 and 360 era.
So it might have been like 2005 or.
Remember, Nintendo got off of the like generation timelines, really weirdly, where like it's hard to even like the Switch came out after the PS4.
Well, the Wii U wasn't a new system, right? Or was it?
It was, and that was. I mean, that gets into the whole argument about the Wii U being the worst name it could have been.
I thought the Wii was just a Wii with a screen on a controller.
The Wii U the Wii U was so poorly named that people went into GameStop actually asking for the tablet to make their Wii into a Wii U, which is like, no. The Wii U is a completely different system, which was just bad marketing.
I didn't know that until you just said that just now.
It was absolutely garbage marketing. It's similar to the new Nintendo 3DS XL, which was different than the Nintendo 3DS XL.
That's a different system.
Yeah. And you go into GameStop and you're like, hey, do you have a new Nintendo 3DS XL? No, we only got used new Nintendo 3DS XLs. We do have new Nintendo 3DS XLs.
But that's a different system.
Used Nintendo 3DS XL.
Wait, a new 3DS XL is a different system than the 3DS.
Yeah, it's the new 3DS.
So the games don't work on them.
The games do work, but there were 6 specific games that only worked on the new 3DS XL.
So not all of them worked.
Yeah, so there were 6 games you could play on a new 3DS XL that you couldn't play on a 3DS XL.
Oh.
Because Nintendo, for some reason, thought that naming the Wii U was a good idea, and thought that naming the upgraded version of the 3DS, the new 3DS, was a good idea. Somebody fucking dropped the ball on marketing in that generation.
Yeah, that's not...
The Switch?
That's not an
perfect
answer.
name. Perfect name. It is exactly what it is, and it tells you what it does. It switches between TV, it switches into handheld.
Yeah, but now the next one that comes out, they're going to fuck it up. They're going to
call it the new Switch XL, I will murder someone.
No, they're going to call it the old Switch. Are you going to be like, what?
They're going to call it the Swatch.
Just call it Switch 2. Get it over with. Yeah, it's fine.
Switch 2 or Switch...
Call it the Switchy-de-doo.
Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, you can't call it a new Switch because a new Switch would mean that you could get a new one. You know, like it's had to be the Switch 2, and that's it.
I mean, it's going to be a revision before they make a new console, so yeah.
All right, let's get into tech. Start off with tech with media. Bad news today.
Switcheroo.
SpongeBob's creator has died. The creator of SpongeBob died. I think he had ALS or something. That was the reason.
He announced last year that he
real sad.
Man, it kind of wiped
I don't
him
know,
out pretty
guys,
quickly.
like, I wasn't a big SpongeBob fan as a kid, but the older I got, the more I got into it.
Yeah, the
SpongeBob was good. The early SpongeBob was really good.
Yeah, like as a kid, it was sort of like, I don't know. I don't know if I was into it either. Like when it first came out,
it wasn't my favorite thing. Like I still, whenever it came on, it was like, no, I want to watch Rocco or Rugrats. But it definitely grew on me where it's like, no, some of the early stuff was actually pretty decent and better than any other new show they came out with.
Well, it was like an era of a new cartoon. Like it was like that sort of obnoxious, sort of weird cartoon where like like Rocco and Johnny Bravo and that whole era was it had like its own little era of like very character driven narratives, but SpongeBob was like this start of like really weird sort of cartoons, and I think that's kind of why I didn't take to it. Like, I'm trying to give an example of a cartoon that was similar to it, and I don't know. It's kind of the last cartoon that I really was into before kind of the cartoon era died. But some of the episodes are so good, like the one where they find the curse words on the dumpster. Did you ever see that episode? That was so great, dude. That might be my favorite episode. Yeah, it's a shame he died. Oh man, he did have some good ones.
And it's the thing they nailed to compared to the older cartoons was a lot more quotable comedy.
Yeah,
and that's what I think really helped propel that show to being as big as it
There's
was.
all the classic memes that come out of SpongeBob.
yeah. I mean, there's a new one now where he does like he's like, and then you have to write all the letters in lower and uppercase. I mean, he's a memeable dude.
Some of my favorites are the is this your wallet? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it says your name. But like you put that for anything.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
they screen caps like in between like 1,000 years later.
Yeah.
So this would make sense. So this is your wallet. Yeah. So this is your wallet. No.
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 Is mayonnaise an instrument? No, Patrick. Mayonnaise is not an instrument.
All the wee woo shit. No, this is Patrick. Like all of it. Like it's just got a lot of really quotable moments. And like in comparison to like Rugrats or like all of those older shows, it was a catchphrase.
Yeah,
And
and for some reason I feel like it made a lot more money than any of those cartoons did too. Like SpongeBob has been around fucking forever. A lot longer than I feel like Rugrats has been around.
Yeah, I think Rugrats was like 12 years, and I think SpongeBob ended up being longer.
Yeah. SpongeBob is taking a while. I didn't know the dude had ALS. It's kind of a shame. 57, Steven Hillenberg. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Oh, Walking Dead. We talk about Walking Dead every week. Season
We talk about Walking Dead every week.
mid-season finale last week, or this Sunday, and I think the show's gonna be good again, guys. I know I say this every episode, but I think they're coming in strong. We got after this ended, I was like, okay, we're back on track. We're back. It's a scary show again. We got some horror elements going on. They dropped a lot of the melodramatic bullshit. It's like we're back into action. We're back into some scary zombie stuff. Some good character-driven narratives. Let's get into it. So I'm excited. No spoilers. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it yet, but there's a big sudden death that we got, which was somewhat satisfying.
What a surprise!
And next mid-season, we'll find out if it can hold the torch and keep going. I will keep a very critical eye on The Walking Dead. All right, Jerry got a new iPhone XR, a brand new phone in. What do you think about it, dude?
I'm actually pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it so far. Like I've only had it a couple of days, so I can't really give like a full in-depth review. I gotta say, iOS is a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
It still does things that I think are worse than Android.
Such as?
Mostly notifications, but it's how it deals with some things, and it's okay. Apps on the iOS ecosystem are way better.
Yeah.
And they have to be, because all of your stock things that come with the iPhone are trash compared to Android, in my opinion.
Such as what? What do you mean?
The mail app, clock, weather, like the way it does the notes, like a lot of the stock things that it would do, news, like the way you scroll over to the right side for like and set up all your news and things like that, I don't think is as good as Android. But the app ecosystem makes a way better experience because of that, because it has to.
Yeah. I think that's interesting because I find the opposite. I find a lot of the first party Apple apps are better than the Android first. I just find the whole app system on iOS is a lot better. I don't really use the weather app. I don't really use the clock app or anything. I just use it to set an alarm or to check the weather. That's about it. I don't use the Notes app. But I do like the Apple News app, and I actually have an article that I'm going to be putting out comparing Apple and Google News. I've been using both for a while now, and they're very similar but also very different.
Yeah. No, like I think Apple News just needs to learn me. So like Apple
That's
News
the difference. Apple News looks way better and it feels way better to kind of like when I open that front page, the Apple News for me is a lot better. But with Google News, I get a lot more news that I want to look at, which is interesting.
Well, no, that's where it comes in is like that. For having a complete ecosystem, it does some things better than Android, and then some things I still think it does just worse. Because there is things I'm missing at times where like, okay, you don't use Notes. I am using Evernote again because I basically have to use Evernote because I used to just use Keep because Keep was good enough for what I wanted it to do. But Keep was cool because any computer I log in, I have Keep as soon as I log into my Gmail account.
That's the thing with Apple. There's always like where that meme came from. There's an app for that. Like there's always like a better app that you'll use. And
no, I know.
Yeah.
And like it's still like that, but like the biggest thing is they should have gotten rid of the fucking home button 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because now without it having a home button, it's so much more fluid than it used to be.
I agree. It feels great with just swiping around, man.
No, like all the gestures, like it's fucking intuitive.
It does honestly suck though when you want to pick up
similar.
your phone and you're not like when I do this. And you can't open it. You have to plug in your passcode, like when you're driving. So I have actually went from an 8-code passcode to a 4-code just to get by that screen a little faster in those situations. But again, it does make it like it is a more fluid experience. It's just that Face ID. They need to make it a little bit better still, I think.
Yeah, I don't have enough experience with it. It's been fine for me. And like the fluid, like it feels fluid. It feels great. The size is perfect for me personally. Oh, the 6.1 inch, because originally I was going to buy the iPhone X, but by the time I got there, they were sold out.
Yeah.
So I got the combo of an iPhone XR and an iPad. But like, where'd I put it? No, seriously. This is why I love this size and think it's perfect. This in a case is versus my old Pixel in a case. It's like two millimeters taller and about a millimeter wider.
Mm-hmm.
It's seriously the same exact size as a 5.5 inch. I think it's just a 5-inch or 5.2 maybe.
Yeah.
Of my old Pixel. It's the exact same size basically. So it just feels what I'm used to. It feels comfortable.
And it's thinner too. Well, at least in the against an OtterBox, it's thinner.
No.
It's not thinner than that Pixel in an OtterBox?
Oh, in an OtterBox. I don't have an OtterBox for this yet. Like, yeah, it's thinner than this if it's in.
No, that's
what
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, anything's gonna be thinner if one's not in an OtterBox and one's in an OtterBox.
No, that's what I'm saying. You have a phone in an OtterBox, do you not?
Yeah. So yeah, the OtterBox is thicker, duh. But I'm not counting that because if I put that in an OtterBox, it's just gonna be as thick.
Well, you're counting the case. You're putting it against the phone in the case. That's why I said that. You're showing the sizes against the case.
True, but I mean, like even there, like even still, it's just a tiny bit taller.
Is it Is it skinnier than the Pixel?
No, the Pixel's skinnier, but they're about the same.
Yeah.
The Pixel is still skinnier. The Pixel is still smaller, but it's very close.
Yeah. Dude, small phones, man.
But
do you like that size better than the 10?
I do because this is
or the 10s.
This is closer to this that I'm more comfortable with, and that's just because I'm used to it. The 10 is narrow. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just really narrow, and it makes the widescreen even more fucking crazy, or the super widescreen. That said, having this size screen is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, how's the screen? Do you like the screen on it?
It's growing on me. Yeah,
you won't even notice it.
It's not as bad as everyone thinks it can be.
Yeah, it's not an OLED, and you're not getting those deep blacks. But I mean, I was using the iPhone 8 or the 8 Plus, and the screen was great on it. It looked fine. Like you don't really notice it. It's such
Yeah.
a small, tiny or resolution that it's like, it doesn't really affect the performance of the screen. It's just really color reproduction that you're gonna find any issues with. And it's Apple, so they do really good color accuracy, color gamut.
Yeah, no,
Getting a good LCD.
It's still a fantastic screen. I personally, at least on mine, I don't get any like. Some people were complaining about it turning pink. If you look at it, it's an extreme angle.
Oh, really?
I don't get any pink. Like colors are still fine. Like it's not as good on the side. Obviously, it's LCD,
Yeah.
but like it's not weird wonky colors or anything.
Yeah.
And like it is really nice having iMessage again. Basically,
Oh, yeah.
that's the biggest reason I bought it.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, that iMessage is so legit. And you'll see FaceTime. I don't know how much you FaceTime, but I FaceTime a lot. And having FaceTime on there.
You would FaceTime a lot.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Dude, you're gonna be like my girlfriend's dad when you get old.
I love FaceTime, dude.
No, dude, this guy, he'll be in the room next to you, and he's too lazy to get up, so he'll just FaceTime you.
Yeah. It's the best. I use
That's
FaceTime more than
entirely-
I actually call people. I hate calling people, but FaceTime, I love it. That's kind of weird. But iMessage is super nice. That's like half of the reason you buy an iPhone. It's crazy how powerful that one thing is. But that's what you use a phone for,
No, yeah,
I am curious to know. You got the iPhone, you got the iPad. Is the MacBook coming next? You going Mac next? You gonna
Probably
fully integrate yourself in it?
Probably not.
No.
Like
New Vegas are out.
no,
The
I
benchmarks
do-
are nuts.
Yeah, I don't plan on spending that much on a computer anytime soon.
I know. It's crazy.
That's basically the word it comes down to. Like if I were to buy one, it would be the old Mac Mini for $300 on clearance.
Yeah.
That's about it.
No, I
'Cause
was
anything
I was
else
about to
already-
buy it, and then I was like, am I
I-
really about to spend almost $5,000 on a laptop?
That yours is already probably good enough.
No, it's great. It's fine.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
like, it was a little bit laggy loading up that stupid web page because I got the stream going and some other stuff going. So I was thinking like, it wouldn't be laggy if I had an i9 with a fucking Vega in there. God damn it.
Probably would.
Yeah, but I am curious to know.
Welcome to the web at the moment. It probably would.
I am curious to know how the Apple ecosystem treats you in the near future, because it does have its wonkiness, but when you learn to work around it and you find out the weird quirks, it does it's enticing, man. It's hard to get out of it. That's what they do really well.
No, like it does. It definitely feels a lot better than it used to, and it's still a good. I've never had that big of a problem with it. It's just there's definitely things about it that are really triggering, and there's definitely things about it that are like, okay, now that they finally group their notifications, that's huge.
Yeah.
I can actually use it.
Oh yeah,
now.
for sure.
Before they group notifications, I couldn't use it basically.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helped.
And it's still not nearly anywhere as good as Android for notifications, but it's getting a lot better.
Yeah, that's the thing that with Apple, they don't let you do everything you want. You can't do everything you want with any Apple products, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
For a lot
like,
of people, that's a no go.
Yeah, and it still is triggering to me, where it's like it's when people tell me it's like it feels more like a complete operating system than Android, and it's like no, to me they both aren't there yet. Because it's just like, okay, the fact on this that I can't put my apps right here. I can't put it on the bottom. Why the fuck can I not put it on the bottom?
Yeah.
Like, let me just put it as a row on the bottom and hide everything else, because that looks way more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be on the top. You have to have all of your apps. It's impossible to hide it unless you're doing folders. That fucking is so dumb to me, because I'm a person who likes to use some utility apps or like things like VPNs. Oh no, and now I have to have a fucking I have to have a fucking app button always there
Yeah.
because I can't hide it. Like that's
Yeah, there's no like app drawer, or you can't just hide it.
Like it's
Um,
stupid. It's stupid at this point.
yeah,
But
hopefully with the new iOS coming out, that some of that goes away.
like it still definitely has things that are really good about it. And iMessage is still amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally like a lot of the Apple native apps, like Apple Calendars. I don't really use their mail app, but I have been keeping it on because it works really well with the iWatch or the Apple Watch. Um, but like in terms of like it look like it does to me, it does feel more like a complete, like it was built as a ecosystem more so than Android and Windows. But yeah,
Feels like an ecosystem. Yeah, I'll agree with that. It's just when it's like as a
it's not a
you know,
perfect OS or anything like that. It still
right.
has its dumb shit that you got to deal with. Like imagine if you could attach a hard drive to an iPad or your phone. Like that would like stuff like that Apple
that
could
would
do would
that
make it so much better.
yeah. And then also okay, this is
Or like you said, even just move the
again,
icons around where you want.
yeah. And it's just little things like that and it's like that's such an easy thing to do. That is such an easy change even
Right.
from it's not even like going to ruin your design
Right.
philosophy.
That's the
Like
frustrating things about Apple because you think that they would be easy to do. They just don't do it. Or they will, and it'll just be 3 generations later. You know what I mean?
right. And then you're paying a premium for that. That's where it also gets especially frustrating to me personally. That said, using these both at the moment, Apple would make okay, this is what I think Apple should do. Sell iPhone XR and an iPad together. Make it a $950 bundle. Sell them both together. If you said that was a bundle and now that I'm using it, I would recommend that over any fucking phone.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at phones at that price point, like okay, you can get an XR and an iPad for the price of a Pixel 3 XL as a Samsung S9 as any of the other flagship phones. No brainer.
Yeah. So I think
And if Apple wanted to increase their sales that they're not going to report, that's all you got to do is all I'm saying. Because then that will convince people to fully commit to your ecosystem.
yeah. And then they do like the little things too. Like now that you have an iPhone and an iPad, like even it makes the AirPods more enticing to get. It makes the Apple Watch more enticing to get. It makes thinking about getting the pencil. Like they do that so well. That's what I like about Apple. And I buy all that shit up, man.
I'll probably buy a pencil because I've already bought a Surface Pen. I'm probably gonna, if I buy a Pixel Slate, I'm gonna buy the fucking. I always buy the pen for the tablet.
Yeah.
Eventually, even though I don't use them, I still buy them because I'm a fucking sucker for bullshit technology.
Me too. That's why I get the AirPods. I get the pencil.
I'm not gonna get the AirPods though.
Dude, they're great. I'm telling you, they're great.
They're
And I have a lot of headphones. I use my
but
AirPods the
they're not
most.
that great, dude. I don't know. I have used them, and I'm just like,
They're great. They
They're
don't sound the
not.
best.
no. It's one of those like I can't. It's $160, and they sound,
They sound good. They sound good, but when
they
you're
sound acceptable.
it's when you have that when you have the iPhone, the iPad, a Mac, an iMac, and you
But
want to
okay,
switch
my
between
question
them,
is
it's just,
that
boop.
my question for that, and this has been my line of thinking, is that the AirPad or is that the W or the AirPods or the W1 chip?
Oh, it's the chip. It's the
Exactly.
chip.
That's why I bought the Beats headphones.
Yeah.
And not
Either
AirPods.
either or, whatever has the chip. You know, I like the
Yeah.
AirPods because they are. I don't know. I think they're cheaper, aren't they, compared
No.
to the Beats? Oh no.
I bought a pair of Beats headphones for $70.
Oh really?
Yeah. And it's like they sound exactly the same. It just has a lanyard on it. It's just like,
Oh,
I
you
just
have
saved
the
myself
inner
100
ear ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
just like, okay, I just saved myself $100 for the same exact thing. It just has a lanyard on it.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's definitely like anything that has that W1 where you can just swap over and you have that wireless headphone. Like that's why I use the AirPods so much. But that like they do that stuff really well, and they're just good at that. They're good at just like kind of like suckering you into like their stupid way of doing things, and I like it.
Crony capitalism.
I like it. Like I like the way Mac OS looks. I like the way iOS looks compared to Android. And I think Android is so close at being able to or I should say Windows Surface. If Windows could really get that Surface product to be a lot more like a Mac, fix up Windows, like it still has those weird, stupid issues that always pop up out of nowhere. If it can fix all that stuff and start to look a little bit more like Mac OS, I would have no problem going back to like a full Windows Android experience. But right now it's just...
It won't replicate that ecosystem if that's what you're in it for.
Well, just not so much the ecosystem, but more just like they just need to fix some stuff, man, that I think would cater to me better as a content creator. You know?
That's right. And I mean, that for me, it's
because gaming has a lot to do with it, right?
Okay, sure. There's that. That's why I keep a gaming PC, but also a work PC.
I'd have no problem. Like if this MacBook, the Vega one, was $5,000, but it could actually play, games on it without a problem, without having the boot camp or anything, it would be a no-brainer for me. But because it can't, I have to think about upgrading the PC, or you know what I mean? Like it's just not 100% there. That's what's frustrating to me.
Yeah, nothing's still there.
Same in the camera world. It drives me insane too. It drives me insane. Someone needs to just do it.
I don't know. It's one of those. I'm still always gonna be really cheap with my money, so I'm always going for value propositions because, deep down, I am sometimes, I think, rightfully worried about not just Apple but also Google and how like we have 5 tech companies who are just basically monopolies.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
Just like I'm gonna buy whatever's the best value for me at the time. Yeah. And right now, like I got that really cheap, but like if Apple could totally get on my good side really quickly in that department of like, just bundle those two together for under $1,000 and you have the best value flagship line, period.
Yeah.
Like you have the ability to do that, but you're not going to. You're going to charge an extra $300 for your phone, and then Google's going to charge an extra $300 for your phone and piss me off too. Yeah. And they're, it's just like, I don't.
Yeah, the Google could be such an enticing phone to me because it has such a good camera on it. But
but then they rose it to be more expensive than an iPhone.
Yeah, it's just and I'm not paying a premium on an Android phone. Like I don't mind a little bit of a premium on Apple. Somehow I feel like it's worth it, They have nice feeling phones, the stainless steel, I don't mind that. But I mean, if Google had that value proposition there, then I would be like, yeah, I'll get a Pixel and get a Slate. It's just there's just none of them are 100% there. For me right now, Apple has a little bit more for what I want out of things as compared to the other side, but it could easily switch. Like that Surface, man, is so close to being the thing that just takes away my iPad, my MacBook, all of it. It's so close, but they fucked it up. They had to fuck it up. All right.
But yeah, overall, it's a fantastic phone.
And I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're back on iMessage. That's always nice. No more green bubbles.
Like iOS is good, but it still has its quirks to me that it's not end all be all. That's what I really want. I want a fucking third party to come in and actually make a real competitor to both of these companies.
Yeah, like if OnePlus was able to do it, had their own OS that was like Apple iOS, but had customization of Android, or the power utilization of Apple with the file management of Android. You know what I mean?
That's what. Yeah, like that's deep down. That's what I want. Because that's every tech company is either a sole monopoly like Amazon, or it's a duopoly like computer parts. It's you buy AMD or NVIDIA, you buy Intel or AMD. Like everything is either a complete total monopoly in tech, or it's only has 2 options.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating to me.
It really is. It's always been that way too. We can never get what we want. But I bet you it's nice to have a phone that has a shitload of battery. That's probably been nice.
Yeah, battery is on it is a lot better. It's not as good as I was hoping, but it's a lot better.
Well, that's because you just got it. It'll get better. I don't know why it does that. Someone says that it learns the phone or how you use it or something, but it will get better. A couple more weeks in it, or maybe one more week, it should be good. You'll get the top battery out of it.
I lasted all day, down to 40%, so I'm happy.
And what was your last one at? Because I remember you were like charging it all the time.
The last day in Vegas, I had to charge it 3 times.
Yeah, it's probably awesome to not have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You probably still worry about it just because it's
I'm
like
still
nature.
worried about it because I'm used to it.
Yeah,
I
it's just
really, so
second
now I'm
nature.
like, oh no, it's down to 40%.
That was like when my
Fuck.
Galaxy was like that. I'd always at the end of the day I'd be like, "Fuck, am I about to die?" And then when I got Apple, I was always thinking about that, and then you don't have to think about it anymore. All right, moving on. Some tech news. Elgato Camlink 4K. I was thinking about getting a Camlink, so this camera would be my DSLR camera, but now this has come out, and I'm probably gonna get this one. Elgato's newest Camlink will let live streamers turn a DSLR or GoPro into a 4K webcam. So this is great if you are a Twitch guy or you're doing a lot of live streaming, any kind of content creation. This is a nice little gadget to have. I have an Elgato HD60, and I was using that for a while, but it's a little clunkier. I don't like using the Elgato thing. I like to use OBS. This one kind of remedies all of that for you. It basically just inputs your camera into a USB port so you can plug it right in.
And $130, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
Like, because you'd only buy this if you already had the DSLR, which if you're a content creator, you probably have.
Yeah.
And like, $130 to get a way better image quality is the same price as buying that stupid Logitech Brio.
Yeah. Yep.
Just to get a fake 4K webcam.
Yeah. You're going to get that real depth of field look. You know, you're going to have that blurry background. And if you're doing green screen, it's going to look way, way better because it's actually using an 8-bit file.
Period.
Yeah. So this is a great little thing to buy. I'm probably literally going to buy it.
If you, this
like
at that price, that's really getting towards that realm of if you have a DSLR and you need a webcam, just buy that instead of a webcam.
Yeah, it's great to have. It's such a nice little thing. It makes your streams look a lot better. Any of your good favorite streamers are probably using some sort of system like that. LG patents a camera or a smartphone with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not even 6, but 6 plus the number 10. 16 cameras. Why?
So
No one really knows why, according to this article.
The Litro or Lito, whatever that. Remember that camera?
Yeah, the Litro. The Litro. Yeah, sort of like that.
I mean, they already have a fucking phone out on the market with 5 cameras. That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. And spoiler alert, still not the best camera. Not even close. Like, it's fine.
Well,
it's
that's
acceptable.
the thing, man. That's the thing. It's like Google
It's acceptable.
showed people you can get the best camera that everyone wants with one camera, with one lens and one camera. And somehow
It's just software.
these companies are like, let's add another camera on there.
And another one. And another
And
one.
another, and another, and another, and another.
God.
It's a joke at that point. It's a joke.
You have 3 selfie cameras for judging depth of field because that's what's going to make or break your selfie.
This is so dumb. So the article basically doesn't really explain why they would do that. This is what it would look like if you look at the patent. It looks so stupid.
It's got yeah.
It's literally
it's gotta
a
be like the
row
Litro
of
thing.
4x4 lenses in a small little area, and it's just there's
Quality,
literally
not
no
quantity.
point. There's no point. Yes, exactly. There's literally no point to doing this. It's just a waste. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Like LG, instead of doing this, spend your money on actually making like a good OS, and you could win a huge percentage of the market that doesn't like Android or like Apple. They're not happy with either. We're both one of those people. You know, they could easily, if they figured out a great OS, they could easily attract people. They have great screens. You know, they can definitely make a phone. But instead, they want to spend the R&D on putting 16 cameras in a fucking phone.
And it's still going to look like shit.
Yeah, 16 cameras with a fucking, tiny little sensor on it. Makes no sense. NVIDIA stock has dropped because mining has died. Their Q3 earnings
Shocking no one.
lower than expected. Mining market weakens.
Well,
Not just their mining either. It's a little
I was
bit of
gonna s-
everything.
I was gonna say half mining, half no one was happy with the RTX launch.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a little bit of a rough Q3, Q4. Over the last month, Bitcoin value has contributed to a decline, peaking at 20,000 in December. Last week, we saw that crypto drop to 4,300, and it's around 3,000, or it's pretty low today. I don't
Dude,
know what it is.
I got it. Okay, I'm
What's
just
it
gonna go
today?
I'm gonna go make a video. Fallout 76 killed Bitcoin XD RAR. That's how we're gonna get 1 million views.
Let's do it. Yeah, so they're reporting some lower sales figures, which is yeah, again, it's not that surprising, but
You mean no? Not everyone's running out to buy a $1,200 card for
no.
like minor performance games and a promise of software that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that should it should. I'm the type of early adopter that would buy something like that, and I didn't buy the newest RTX, so that should go say something. You know, that's usually something that I would line right up to buy, but I was like, I'm not getting one right now.
I need
not
games
at point.
first. Yeah, I
Or
need games
at least
first.
give me like fucking way more performance gain.
Yeah, because like it's the only like a
It's
maybe
a good
20
amount.
I mean, it's like what, a 20%. It's a good amount, but not for the price.
Right.
Is the problem where it's like, no, it's like a good probably 20% performance increase over a 1080 Ti.
Right.
But oh yeah, it's an extra like $600 because of the promise of software that doesn't exist yet.
Right. If the 1080 line didn't exist, then I would go buy it. But it does exist, and it plays
But it
everything
can-
perfectly fine.
But it's 20%. It isn't $600 has got to be a lot more than 20% if it's just based off performance.
Yeah, it would have needed to be in like 40 to 50% more performance for me to buy it with the 1080 Ti. Like it would have
Yeah.
had to have been almost double the performance for me to go pick it up.
That or more, yeah, because you're talking about, okay, that's literally the price of a budget gaming computer.
Yeah.
Like I could make an entire computer for that extra price. It better be spanking.
Yeah, I actually have a note here with the RTX benchmarks for Battlefield 5, and it shows you the performance hit to it with RTX enabled. It's not going to look good on my stream because or on here because OBS is kind of running like shit right now. But you can see it's not good. Like Joker has a great video on it, and he's running this
Eric
thing.
saw someone saying, or the original levels I was seeing coming out was like what, 28 FPS at 4K, which is
Yeah.
more than I expected.
Yeah, at
But you don't play
1440p.
We're not gonna play Battlefield 5 at fucking 20 frames per second.
No. At 1080p, he's getting, with RTX on, he's getting about 60, between 60 and 75 frames per second, which isn't bad.
That's acceptable.
That's acceptable. But again, this is one of the most optimized games on them. Like Battlefield is known for its optimization, and that's still kind of low at 1080p. And when
and
you
it's
turn it
also
off,
not
it's
like-
up to almost 200 frames per second.
Yeah. And it's also like not even, it's one of those things too where I don't even think it's using like full on,
No.
like full blown RTX, what it's supposed to be.
No, they even recommend you use low because there's just not much of a difference between low RTX and high RTX, but the performance hit is even greater at high. So it's a little tip if you're playing it with RTX. Now,
It looks great.
It
Don't
looks
get me wrong.
great.
It looks fantastic, but that's
it really does look really cool. Like
It's one of
it's
those-
crazy that it exists.
I can't play a first person shooter. I mean, I don't like playing first person shooters below like 150 FPS, let alone 60
Yeah. And it's dropping.
And
So it's going to
with frame drops. Yeah.
It's going to have frame drops. It's just not going to be a very fun experience. But it does look really... I'm excited for RTX, but they just need to work out the kinks. And when they do...
We'll
see.
Yeah. It is one of those things you should get excited for ray tracing, but you should get excited for Gen 2 or Gen 3.
The problem
Because
is,
before this came out, there was a reason why I was saying like I expected it to be another 5 years.
Yeah. And the problem
know
is
what I
that NVIDIA doesn't do console SoCs the
No.
way that AMD does. So
Well,
the consoles
all
aren't
of
going to have RTX. You know what I mean? And with the consoles not getting RTX, a lot of developers who are developing for console aren't going to implement RTX, and that's the problem. So NVIDIA, if they really want to push RTX, they need to get it on consoles so that developers can make it with RTX enabled, and then it can start to evolve. But they're not just going to do it for PC.
That because it's their proprietary iMessage, and they're not giving away their secrets. Because they're never going to make an SoC. That's literally all AMD does. AMD bases its GPU releases off of its SoC releases.
Yeah, and that's how AMD has, they're solid. They're going to stick around because they make the console graphic units, That's the reason why Apple chooses AMD, is because they can just throw it right up on there. It works great. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if AMD has an RTX even, like a plan even in works.
They do have plans in works, but they've also said publicly they're not going to release it until they basically can run it on consoles.
Like, well, that makes sense.
Right. They're not interested in releasing it until no, it's going to work fine on like a 470 level card. You know what I mean? Which is a console.
And that's the thing. It's like the next consoles, they're talking 4K 60. And there's no AMD cards that are running 4K 60 right now. There's none. So that makes me wonder, like, are we 3-4 generations out before we start to really see RTX on console?
I'd say 2. Because the next generation's gonna be all based off of 7 nanometer like Navi stuff, and that's probably what's gonna hit your 60 frames.
That'll be the 4K 60.
Right, I can see that being doable.
So then you think the one after that?
After that, I think they can probably figure it out by then, because it's still gonna take another 3 years after that.
Yeah, let's hope that would be more acceptable. That would be more acceptable, because 4K 60 is no joke. It's really hard to run that, especially when you're talking consoles or when you're talking TVs. There's frame
also
tear.
Talking super optimized too, though.
Yeah, and then we're talking with the large TV. There's going to be frame tearing, so it cannot go underneath that 60 frame mark. With 4K as a resolution, that frame tearing is going to look very jarring. It's going to look like shit. So it needs to hit above 60 frames per second to really lock it in there, which I think they'll be able to do with the 7 nanometer architecture. And that's going to be awesome. That's really going to, that even might pull me like really far away from PC gaming, because the only reason why I like PC gaming is because I have way better performance on it. But when 4K 60 comes, man, there's really not much else I can really go unless I'm playing competitive gaming, which I don't do,
I will still probably stay mostly PC, but both. Because I'm enjoying having the PS4 again. I didn't miss having a console, but at the same time, like I was saying earlier in the show, no, I want to play Total War.
Yeah,
I want to play.
You're not playing that on console.
Exactly. There is a lot of games that you're gonna play on PC just because it's mouse and keyboard master race.
Yeah. All right. Last, the Pixel Slate has been reviewed, and it's here's the one from The Verge.
About as
calling it half-baked.
It's about as mediocre as I expected.
It's a shame, man, because I really would love this thing to kick ass, because it has an Intel chip in it. That would be great.
Well, it's partially okay.
You can hook up a hard drive to it. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking computer.
Yeah.
It's what I want the iPad to be.
Yeah.
Because this has been my. I don't know if I've said this on the show, but I've definitely said it to Wayne and other people, where it's like, no, the iPad is everything I want, but nothing that I need for work. The Slate is everything I need for work, but not what I want.
Yeah. That's so goes life, huh?
Why can't you just it's got a full web browser.
How great would it be?
It's got full native Linux apps, and it uses external storage and boot disks, and you can put in a keyboard and mouse. That's all you need on the iPad, and it's the wonder machine.
Yeah, how great would it be if Apple and Google teamed up to release a super tablet or a super computer or a super laptop or a super phone?
And that would be sick.
That would be so sick. Get Johnny Ive with Google. Get the Google developers with Johnny Ive and Tim Cook's fucking expertise with supply chain. And then you have a fucking company that would literally be unstoppable and probably get sued for a lot of monopoly charges But we would have awesome laptops and tablets. So some of the things that he states here on The Verge, and this kind of goes, site-wide from all the reviews I've seen. It's got good speakers. It's got 2 USB-C ports. It's got a great screen on it, but it's plagued with software bugs. Android apps still feel alien, which I find is an interesting thing. Folio keyboard is awkward. And that was one of the things that I saw from it. The Folio keyboard looks like a piece of shit. It looks slow. It just looks slow when he was using it in his video, which is not what I want.
It's one of those things that if you're using it as a laptop, it works fast. But the second you turn it into a tablet and just use it as a tablet, it's slow as shit.
Yeah.
If you're using it as a Chromebook, it's still a Chromebook.
Right. That was basically his thoughts. He says he wants to get more out of Chromebooks.
Fuck all of the reviews that are like saying like it's a shit product because it's got a bad keyboard. Just buy a different keyboard. It's the same. It's not the keyboard. Yeah, it's the same thing with the iPad. Like, I hate the iPad keyboard. I will definitely hate the Slate's keyboard. Like,
at least you get a mouse pad with the Slate keyboard.
But it's just like, no, I'm gonna ignore both of those and go buy a proper keyboard. That's what I always do, because both of those products for $200 are dog shit. Yeah. Review the product of what the product is, not the separate accessory product. Please. Thank you.
I didn't realize how big the bezels were on this until I guess I got the iPad. But the bezels look pretty big on it, mainly because it has speakers
it's just
on the front.
The new iPad now. It's the speakers, because before the new iPad, those bezels were way smaller than the iPad.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy how that came to be.
And you can't talk about now go look at your iMac and really question your life choices.
I don't find it that bad, the iMac. But mainly because it's a 27-inch screen, so I don't really notice it.
Even being 27, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I don't really even notice it that much. It kind of just disappears. But that is weird because I do notice bezels. Like, this Dell XPS has like bezels that are that thin. My TV has like no bezel on it. My phone doesn't have a bezel. Like, I have no bezels in my life anymore. But the iMac, somehow I get by it. I don't understand it.
I can't, but that's just a personal issue.
But I also don't really use the iMac that much. So.
So that's probably why. It's like I use one for work like 3 times a week, and like in all other aspects, it's a good machine, like great machine.
Yeah,
but those bezels are fucking killing me deep down inside every time I'm using it, and it's just because I've gotten so used to all of my other monitors having no bezels.
Maybe we'll get a bezel-less iMac. That'd be nice.
Dude, I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that'd be real nice.
I'd like, it was a great design for when it came out, but it's time to realize that this is probably the longest the iMac's ever been the same design, and replace it.
Yeah, it's been quite. I mean, has it almost been a decade now of that same design? Feels like it has been.
No, it's been a decade.
Oh my god, I'm getting old.
I mean, I'm counting the Core 2, which was sort of a different design, but it was close enough that it feels like it's the same design.
Yeah, here is the Bridge keyboard that they were talking about in the review, and this one does look better. I want to get a Bridge for my iPad, but there's the Bridge one with the trackpad. It looks pretty nice on the Slate. I really wanted this Slate to be awesome, because I would love to, like, I want a Surface product with USB-C Thunderbolt 3. It cannot be anything less than Thunderbolt 3. That can essentially, run all of my video editing apps on it, and we're just not quite there yet. If iOS 13 doesn't bring this sort of apps that I need, like Final Cut and stuff like that, and like a true sort of desktop experience, then I'm gonna have to start. I might switch over to the Surface, because the power from the iPad just shows that it's ready. It's ready for Final Cut. It's ready for 4K video editing on a tablet. It's great.
Totally.
It's so great, except it's just limited by it. And we have LumaFusion, which works great, but I want Final Cut. I want a full Final Cut. I want full Photoshop. I'm ready for it. Let's bring it.
I don't want my $1,000 product to be the same exact feel as my $100 product.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
It's really what it comes down to.
That's a good way to put it. All right. That's it for the show. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Yes.
One last question. Does Safari... Okay, so Safari, does that let you switch what you're watching between devices?
What do you mean?
Okay, so if I start because on Chrome I'm able to do this, and I'm glad they finally brought this to iPad or iOS as well, and that's beautiful. So if I open up a stream in Chrome on my phone, if I open my iPad and it's logged into the same account, there will be a little phone button on the app, and I click it, it will instantly open that exact stream.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. With Safari, it does it. You'll see like a Safari
It does that.
icon with a phone, and then you
Okay, and
click
it
on
does that
that.
too?
Yeah, and it brings it right back up.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because Google's been doing that for a while, and I was like, it's working here, and I was like, I was sure Safari could do that.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yeah, I've actually went back to using Chrome as my main browser. I was using Safari for quite some time, but then I realized it was kind of slow when I'm using WordPress. Chrome just eats through WordPress. Unfortunately, I have to log out of I don't like having a personal account attached when I'm browsing on Chrome. I just get sketched out with that. But I have been back to Chrome because it is faster. And I mean, it's just a powerhouse of a browser. It's really hard to kind of replace it. But the Vivaldi one has been great too, except it's just there's so much with Vivaldi. I have to turn it back on and start using it again.
Yeah.
That one's crazy.
I keep going back. I mostly use Firefox actually. And that's also because Firefox, I trust Mozilla more than Google.
Oh yeah, for sure.
By a landslide.
For sure.
They're really, everything's open source and pretty damn secure.
Yeah.
But it's just easier having one main browser like that to me, because on any device I go to, I will log into my Firefox account and I can delete everything but my search history.
Yeah.
So it will always remember all of my shortcuts. And
Yeah.
it's first world problems, but that's fucking huge to me.
I mean, I've also been using because Vivaldi defaults it search to DuckDuckGo, and I've been using that as well as I don't even use Google search anymore. I do
DuckDuckGo's
sometimes.
not bad.
Yeah, I do sometimes, but I'm not really searching that much stuff. When I do, I'll hop on Google if I need to do like a deep search, but if I usually mainly use Google to just get to a website without typing in like .com. You know what I mean? Like I just type a word in and then just click it on Google. That's kind of how I've been using Google search from now on.
That is one of my I do like Google searches a lot, and that's the hardest thing to break going back to an iPhone, is having to open like the Google app, because having that little bar used to be everything for me,
Yeah.
because it was just like, I don't know, I'm always that asshole where like people start like being like
On the
yeah,
home screen, you're saying?
yeah, because like it was always just like, oh, I want to find out this thing right now. Cool, I type in 5 words and I find out what the answer is.
Yeah.
And that's huge to me.
Yeah, don't count on Siri for doing that. Siri is fucking garbage.
No, but you can just open the Google app. But again, there's an app for
Well,
that.
actually, I think there's a thing where you can even call the Google Assistant through Siri now.
Yeah, you can say, "Hey Siri, okay Google," and it's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, and it opens the Google Assistant. That is
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy that they even did that. I didn't expect that to happen. All right, let's get out of here. I gotta go fucking fix my house before it fucking floods. We'll catch y'all later next episode, or catch y'all next week for the next episode. And make sure you're following us over on Instagram and Twitter at NoLife Digital. Peace.